What's up guys, welcome to brobeatz. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some quick and easy melodies. If you do end up enjoying the video, make sure you do hit that sub button and turn post notifications on because it does help it a lot. That being said, let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, first things first, okay, we need a scale. Now you don't need to use one of these. I'm gonna make this real simple, but just for visual sake, let's just do my F sharp minor. It's just the scale that I like using the most. Okay, so we're gonna go in here. We have a key. One thing to keep in mind, it is an ambient key, it's not dry. That doesn't mean you can't use dry sounds, but usually having some type of ambience, delay, or reverb will fill up kind of the empty spaces. That way you don't have to use that many sounds. So we're gonna go into 1/2 beat grid. Okay, the grid doesn't really matter necessarily, but I just usually use this one. And then what we can do is we need a bass line. Now I'm gonna give you the easiest way to come up with a bass line. Pretty much you just throw down a chord and then you can just pull the notes over whichever way. So I'm gonna use the root, which is right here, and then you can go upward like this or downward, and you should know this already. For me, I like sad-ish stuff, so I usually go up and I go down. The reason for that, if you're newer, is because we hit these tension areas, which can give you a dark or sad vibe depending on the context that you use them. So I usually do something like this, and then we can find like a good timing for this real quick. Sharpen these up. Okay, now we can use this as our bass line. Now it doesn't sound like much, right? Because it's just a single, kind of like a single note melody right now. But what we're gonna do is add stuff on top, and the easiest way to do this, okay, let's pull this over, is you can pretty much take any note you want. Now if you want this to sound somewhat not dark but a little sad, you could make a melody around these areas here. Okay, so you would probably go into it, you would build into it like this, or build out of it like this. Okay, and you can kind of use that pattern. So let's go up an octave or two. Make sure you can see all of this. Okay, and let's build into it. So let's take this and then just go down like that. All right, and a simple way you can keep the melody catchy is just reusing the same melody, and then you could add stuff, but I think we can probably get away with this. Let's see. We could change the velocity just a bit. I don't even think that it does anything with serum. Okay, and you can get away with this all the time. Now the last step, you want to add a top melody, and this will pretty much make it unique. Okay, is why you adding that top melody. And of course there's other things you can do. You can add notes in between, but I want to keep this video very simple for people that are starting out. So what we can do now, okay, is we could take a note that we have. So this is a chord, right? So if we just pull these back in, this is our bass line is pretty much a chord. So we can take that top note in our chord, which is the A, and I'm just showing you how to identify it, and pull it up a few octaves, and you can use this as your new melody. So what we did here, we're gonna do up here, but you can just go each way. Well, you would usually go up because you don't want these to clash too much. Not saying you can't do that, but just for simplicity's sake, let's kind of give it a rhythm. And let's repeat that over, and then just change the other side so it's not too repetitive. All right, copy it over just like so, and then we can take these little areas and pull them up like that. And now we have a melody, right? And this is very simple and something that you can definitely use. Okay, and that small difference will make it sound slightly different when you listen to the whole thing in context. So don't worry about it sounding repetitive and like a loop, which it is a loop, but you get what I mean. But let's go ahead and move on to the next part. All right, so I want to go over layering and sound selection together with this part because I think a lot of people miss this, right? They just kind of just add sounds and they don't really think about it. But the purpose of layering, right, is to add energy or sometimes take away it, okay? Because your goal, right, you want a verse low energy part, and then when you add that extra sound, you want it to change something. You want it to add to the melody, right? You don't want to just add sounds to add sounds or just sound muddy, right? So a lot of the time with simple stuff like this, you want to add a sound, not a sound that's opposite, but something that adds what your main sound is missing. So this one is very soft and chill, right, and ambient. So I chose this sound, which is a lot more, I guess, rigid, it's distorted, and I just have the effects up so you can see the type of effects that I have, right? It's a lot more in your face and wide. So if we copy this, it should sound more like a hook now, even though we haven't changed anything. And I'll just, you can see it's a lot more energy just by this. And this is not even an extreme difference of sounds, right? Right, they're not that different, right? That different. But yeah, you could try pulling up an octave too. All right, you can see how much energy we added. So I like that. I'm gonna keep it. I'm not gonna change any notes. So now we can move on to the next sound. All right, so now we have a lead, okay? And then one thing I want you to pay attention to is I do have delay on this, and the reason for that is since we have so little sounds, that delay can fill in those gaps. That way we don't need to use other sounds, which if you want to fill in those gaps with other sounds, that's fine. Let's just go in here. Matter of fact, we can use this same thing, okay? So E, D, C sharp, we can use those same notes, so just keep tabs of those, and then we can just throw in our own little notes. And I'm gonna zoom in, do the whole thing at once. I tend to like to do flams with these. And I'm gonna go to 1/4 so we can access some different rhythms. And we can go here and do something like this and see what timings we can mess with. Okay, I kind of like that right there. So now we can copy this on the same side and we can add other notes now. So what I want to do is go to the next area of tension up here. Okay. Something like that. And just kind of place it in the same area. So it would be right here, but we're just going to remove this and then just do the same thing, but just add a little bit more since it's the end of the loop. Let's make a chord so we can access these here. Well, not access, but kind of put it in harmony. I want this to be a little faster. I kind of like it low-key like this, so I'm not sure if I want to keep it like that, but I guess for now we can leave it how we made it. Okay, so that is our lead, or I guess this could be our counter, I guess. But now we can go ahead and put in our bass. All right, so it's time to do the bass. Now usually this will bring your melody to life, okay, especially if you have something simple, ambient. So what we're gonna do is just go in here and make this real simple. We're just gonna copy our pattern here. We could try some different patterns because I don't think we need a bass for this because it already kind of has a nice range. If you kind of look, we already have a nice range, but since we have the sound, we may as well add it. Kind of sounds empty if I don't add that in. Make sure it's in the right spots. It'll be right here. I think that's right. I think we could do something like this. And I'll play it one time through. Okay. All right, and that's just a really quick, simple melody you can make. But that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.